Hello to my Saggies. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading, Sagittarius. Let's get it. See what's going on in your cards. We are coming up on a full blood moon in Pisces and a total lunar eclipse same day, 7th of September. All right, so this is an emotional and karmic turning point for you. And so it highlights your home, family, emotional foundations. And so it is a mutable sign. Pisces is a mutable sign, like you all are. We're not talking about a person that's a Pisces. We're talking about the last sign in the zodiac, right? Which is ruled by, y'all have a planet in common, Jupiter. But they're ruled by a second planet, Neptune, right? And so it's a mutable sign like you. This energy feels very personal and can bring deep transformative shifts for you. So in areas of home, family, and living situation, the eclipse activates your fourth house and home and roots, right? And so fourth house, like I said, Cancer rules fourth house, but something about you being connected to certain energies where you're looking for, warm conversations, you're looking for fun, sparks, this kind of stuff and all of that. You're starting to see who they were influenced by, whoever the energies, who people are influenced by. And something is really letting you know, you're starting to see something through a different lens. So you may experience change and revelations connected to your living environment, your family dynamics, and even your relationship with past. So moves, renovations, and redefining home means to you are common themes. Second thing is emotional foundations and security. So Sagittarius usually looks outward towards adventure and future goals, but this moon in Pisces is pulling you inward. It's asking you to reflect on your emotional safety, self-nurturing, and the foundation you're building your life on. Old wounds may resurface so that you can be healed and released. Also, family and ancestral patterns are going to be important. It's going to be at the forefront for you, as a moon in Pisces energy is compassionate and dissolving. So this eclipse may help you let go of ancestral or family patterns that no longer serve you. So some Sagittarians may feel called to forgive, while others may step away from unhealthy dynamics in order to create emotional freedom. And then in the areas of career and home, career versus home balance, because eclipses always activate in axes. This lunation also touches your 10th house of career and public life. So you may feel pulled between eternal responsibilities and private needs. So this blood moon actually highlights the importance of balancing ambition with inner grounding. Okay, with inner grounding. So there is what's really happening, what a lot of people keep forgetting, is that the Judgment card, which is Pluto, is about to go station direct, but it's going to be in Aquarius for up until 2043. So that's a long time, right? So it's currently retrograde in Aquarius, and Aquarius is a humanitarian sign. So the call is up to be basically focus on humanity, right? Basically treating everybody fairly, and showing compassion, to everybody as we're closing out cycles. Show compassion towards people as we're closing out cycles in life. Move on without all of the chaos, confusion, cutting up and doing all this mess, being at war. Oh, I hate this person. You got to close out. So it's just teaching people how to close out cycles in love. Move on. So I am surrounded by people who encourage me. There it is. That I am. Yeah. A lot of people really feel like the creator in them is greater than the creator in them is greater than the creator in somebody else. Like basically some people think they're better than other people, right? And so it's like you don't want to be connected to people who really treat people like they are less than because maybe they don't have the proper education, or they didn't have the same level of schooling, or the people who judge people based on their compassion towards people. So like they're saving somebody. You know what I'm saying? So they just overlook stuff. They just let people just cross over any kind of boundary. Oh, well, they don't know what they're doing. They just, and people out here hurting. They don't know, that they slept with somebody's husband or wife, or, they didn't, cuss somebody's kids out or whatever the case may be, and people just letting people, they not right upstairs. Okay, well, so it's just trying to help you learn how to not just go along with a particular program, and just learn how to pray for people, but also say, okay, I need to just move on from some things. I need to go ahead and move on from some things, because people can be encouraging you one way or the other, right? So looking at your cards, seeing here, you could be dealing with an energy who has some real obsessions to some things. Somebody could really be obsessed with, the devil card would be somebody who has a God complex. Somebody could be really obsessed with sex, lust. They could be, really obsessed with restricting people, like really saying, okay, we got to put an end to something. I know this person, I can put a phone call in and I can end this person right away. Or like, this person they're obsessed they're taken over by demons. They need some kind of a exorcism or something. Or we need to restrict this energy. We need to put an end to something. They chain to, a particular belief system. And because of their level of education or whatever they have, money or whatever the case may be, they feel like they have a God complex. So something about you are saying, something about your energy being very warm has been going along with certain things up until now. And now you're saying you don't want to be tied to that. There it is, death card. Could be a Scorpio involved in something. Doesn't have to be a Scorpio. Scorpio just happens to rule 8th house. But somebody really wants somebody to go through a rebirth. Somebody really has this on their mind. They need to change people. It's like somebody forced them into a rebirth. So this is the situation currently at hand. Somebody really wants, it's an obsession that somebody really wants to end somebody. And for you, you're just like, oh my God, what in the world is this? It's like you're seeing something in a person that there's no compassion, like none, and they're encouraging people. They're literally encouraging people to end somebody, right? Yeah. So whoever this is the death card and the strength card. It's like they're encouraging this energy right here. These two energies. Let me see. Okay, so this is the current situation right here. Like to put somebody in survival mode. They basically put these two people in survival mode. Somebody is really encouraging people to put these two energies in survival mode. What in the world? Wait a minute. Yeah. So one is on the inside and one is on the outside. Separate these two. Okay, let's see. Here's 5 of Pentacles here. So you're on the cusp of something, right? Somehow it's like you hold the key to something, right? You hold the key to your own vault door, Sagittarius. That's for one. But when I'm saying you're holding the key to something, is that you're going through your own rebirth, right? And it's like people kind of look up to you because you are ruled 9th house, and this is quest and adventure, philosophy, religion, belief, adventure, travel, long journeys, teaching and higher education, this kind of thing. So whoever you are could be talking to an educator. And so teaching people who feel like they're on the outside, how people always remember their teachers who always encourage them. No matter how far you go in school, people always remember I know I do. If I had to go back to high school or something, and I could remember who was my favorite teachers, who were the favorite teachers and why they were the favorite teachers. It's something about a person who loves what they do, but they don't have a God complex. They're very passionate about what they do. But they don't have a God complex. They're not trying to force somebody into a rebirth, right? So they know how to use. So water is creative, right? So when we talk about sacral chakra, it's starting out with water, right? Starting out with water. You can tell a person who is very passionate about what they do because they offer a variety of things, right? Sacral chakra deals with emotions and intimacy, right? And so the basic need for sacral chakra is variety. So there's a variety of things that can make you feel joyful, or filled with joy, or creativity, adaptability, sensuality, fertility, emotional range, and sexuality, right? So somebody feels like something is their way or the highway. And for you, you're like, okay, I'll take the highway. And that's how some people feel. Some people are like, if I got to do all of this to make people feel, if I got to be that cold hearted, right, then I don't want to be a part of something. I don't want to be a part of something that's going to be, bullying somebody. I don't want to be a part of that. And a lot of people are just starting to wake up to that. It's like if that means I got to be on a job where, to get somebody fired on a job, I got to be a part of the toxic crew. I don't want to be a part of that. So you're like, they're like, well, what's wrong with you? It's not your job no, but you're making people feel, somebody is making people feel like if they don't do something, that they can just start packing up their stuff, start putting their belongings in a box so they can leave. You don't want to be a part of that. Yeah, so somebody is like, you don't like putting people into survival mode. Separating people. You know what this sounds like? I mean, like I said, this sounds like slavery, for real. It sounds like when people separate people's families and have people so distracted that they can't even concentrate on like they are so weighed down. They're walking around like they got the weight of the world on their shoulders. They can't even concentrate at work, they can't concentrate, period. They just walking around like they got the weight of the world on their shoulders. And so if they try to tell people, this 1, 2, 3 right here is talking. If they would try to communicate with people, they are communicating with people by how they're walking. They walk around with the weight of the world on their shoulders. That is a form of communication. That's their body language. Hello. People are starting to see body language. Somebody's walking with this slumped over. Somebody's sick all the time. Somebody is showing people that they may have a problem communicating the way that other people want them to communicate. They want somebody to mirror the way they communicate. Some people feel like they're a wordsmith. They feel like, oh, I have the proper diction and I communicate like this. Good for them. Okay, whoever they are, that's good for them. But some people are communicating the best way that they can. Okay, through body language. And if you got to look it up on YouTube, not YouTube, you got to look it up on Google, types of communication. Some people are showing you that they feel left out. That's what somebody is saying. Somebody's showing somebody that they feel left out. And that, if they move around a lot, they're showing, okay, I don't feel like I belong to a part of a community. So let me just move on. So this energy right here, well, why don't they just communicate it? Why don't they just say it? But the way that they're saying it, right? The way that this energy is saying it is it puts people in survival mode. Right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like it's putting people in survival mode. Whoever this energy is, somebody keeps linking up with this energy who is like constantly putting somebody in survival mode. And it's making them feel lower and lower and worse and worse and worse. It's like they're hanging out with two apex predators. This energy right here is hanging out with two apex predators. And it's toxic feminine energy. Even if it's a man that's hanging out with two toxic women, he is the victim. Okay? If it's a man, let me say this again, because a lot of people think you're looking at a man, he could be bigger, taller, he could be, 500 pound of muscle. If he hanging out with two, I don't care if they 4'11" and weigh 80 pounds apiece. If they are toxic, it's literally like if these two women are toxic, they can still be bullies. They can just attack his manhood at every single chance they get. That's the part people are missing. And somebody already feels lower than low. Something that they got involved in and that they did. They already feel bullied. See this bull right here? They feel bullied. So somebody did attack somebody's manhood. Oh, you're not that good in bed. You're not this, you're not this, you're not that. And somebody just feels completely dejected, right? Or I found better than you. I could find better than you. And they already feel low about something. So you must be dealing with a person who is, because when the moon moves through Scorpio, it addresses two energies, your money and sex, but in unhealthy ways, right? So somebody must have felt like, okay, these two energies, they were in a lion's den, right? So somebody could have lied to them about how great they were in bed. Whoever this energy is could have lied to them about how great they were in bed, and then did something to set somebody up. Now this person feels worse. They feel bullied. This is what I'm seeing here in the cards. Somebody is putting an end to this by exposing it, because somebody's been praying for somebody. Somebody's been praying for somebody. So this energy right here, who is just ruthless, is talking about, why don't they just man up? Why don't they just man up? Here we have the Knight of Pentacles here, right? So they got this energy to go into somebody's house to do the dirty work. This is a Capricorn, okay? So this is what's in between here. So they got somebody who moved, right? They got somebody who moved. This could be a Capricorn sun or Capricorn moon sign. These two toxic feminine energies, again, they could be men or women. Let me run down toxic feminine traits, because sometimes people don't get it. Men or women bullied this energy to go into someone's home. This is a Capricorn, and basically finish somebody. The only way you're going to be able to fulfill getting into this organization is if I need you to finish somebody. I need you to do our dirty work, right? So they already turn this energy on through sex or through some kind of obsession with money. But now the first person feels restricted, because now they got something on the energy. They either recorded the energy, or they said something to the energy, or whatever, because these energies have a God complex, right? They told the energy they were going to have it back. They were going to have it back, right? This is open enemy. They got a prayer warrior that's already been fighting for them. So that's where justice comes in. That is where justice comes in. Yeah, something is already closed out in the spirit. Because some people get ready to start asking why. They get ready to start asking why, because these two energies right here are now being held responsible for as being an accomplice to something. These two energies are now being held responsible for being an accomplice to something, because they bullied somebody to do something, somebody who moved, right? They copied something to put somebody in survival, put two people in survival mode. And trust and believe when I tell you, because what I'm seeing here in this card, while this one is weak, somebody is not. Somebody is going to show them no, when I say no mercy, none. People keep trying to play all of this, love and light. But you had to go through hell and high water. So somebody ain't going to show them no mercy. None. None. Somebody going to show them no mercy. Something already closed out, and some people going to be saying why. I'm telling you, some people gonna be like, why? But wait a minute, we was just, I'm telling y'all, somebody gonna be like, we was just playing. Nah, playtime over. Somebody gonna show them no mercy. They gonna end these two. End. When I say end, I'm talking about end. Y'all can look at take end however y'all want to take it. End. Because we seeing here, somebody had some kind of an addiction here. Right? And somebody exploited someone's addiction. That's what this is, right? Somebody shows zero compassion. Somebody had a God complex. Somebody had a God complex. And so whoever these two energies are right here, this one right here is telling somebody they should man up. meaning divine masculine energy. Okay, when I say man up, it doesn't necessarily have to be a man or a woman. It could be a man or a woman, but basically there's somebody saying, well, they should have spoke up, they should have said something, they should have done this and that. Basically showing zero compassion. This is what is going to hit them. It's about to end their financial independence. Somebody's about to be broken in a joke, for real. Talking about somebody should have spoken up. When somebody, I mean, these energies been plotting and planning. You talking about an emotional predator, and you talking about a water predator and a land predator. That's what you're dealing with. Somebody caught it on both sides. And you've resolved the temper inside of you, so you cool, calm, and collected. Because when you say what you gotta say, it's over. It's gonna be over. It's gonna be over for these two. Yep, it's gonna be over for these two bullies. Somebody gonna be like, oh, somebody tried to say that you had a temper. They was trying to bring a temper out in you, just so you're clear. Somebody was trying to bring a temper out in you, but see, your temperance, meaning that you have all resolved. You are in harmony with yourself, right? So it's like somebody wanted to see. They want you to physically see what kind of spirit they have, right? So it's almost like somebody said, somebody going to put an end to you lying about something, right? So they wanted to take it out on somebody else in a physical sense. They wanted to end someone else in a physical sense by showing their temper. But they wanted a temper to come out in you. You are tempered, meaning that you'll sit yourself right down in court and show them no mercy. And your words will come to string together very clear. Somebody wanted to say you were lying about something, so they wanted to show. I'm telling y'all, somebody got a God complex. They literally feel like, whoever these energies are, they literally feel like they're going to stop you from lying about something. When really, sacral chakra, they didn't even get to the root of something. They didn't even care. Whoever these energies, they did not even care about getting to the root of something. Somebody is dealing with a very, very toxic Scorpio and a Leo. They did not care about getting to anything generational. There was no compassion. Somebody said they're not going to flush out. They're not going to look at themselves in the mirror. No, nothing. They were just going to basically force you into some kind of a rebirth. So you said, okay. Okay, I had to add some more time to something. What I had up here was Page of Wands here. So since this energy have such a bad temper and they wanted to send you a message basically that you were lying about something and they wanted to take it out on a younger person, you're going to send them a message loud and clear. But yours is going to come through because you're in harmony and sync with yourself. They wanted to take it out on a younger person because they wanted to say that you were lying about something that you weren't even lying. They weren't even care. In other words, somebody didn't even give you a chance to process your emotions about something. You know what I'm saying? Whoever this fire sign is, it could be a fire sign. It could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, sun or moon, right? It doesn't matter, but they're very, very toxic feminine energy, right? It could be a man or woman, toxic feminine energy, right? And this energy has a God complex. So whoever they're linking up with, they also have a very a God complex. So when I tell you that you're not going to be showing them any mercy, none. None. Because of what they did to this young person. You ain't showing them no mercy. None. Toxic feminine energy is a term sometimes used in pop psychology and relationship discussions to describe negative or manipulative patterns or behaviors associated with feminine traits, or when expressed in an unhealthy way. It's not a clinical or scientific concept, but rather a cultural framing. So here are some commonly cited characteristics, like manipulation and control, like using guilt, silent treatment, or passive aggressive tactics to influence others. You might be just dealing with an energy who likes to sit and wait and collect stuff, like collect toxic information about people, put people into survival mode, and then strike like a predator, like a shark would. A shark, that is an apex predator of emotions, right? So as soon as somebody starts crying, they jump on that. So for instance, if a person goes to somebody and they're talking about death, and somebody is vindictive, they circle like a shark. They just waiting for blood. Somebody started talking about they mourning and grieving over death, and they're like, to the end of me, I'm gonna get this energy. I'm gonna get this energy. They not instead of using their time wisely to say, well, let me get to the bottom of something to see if something is a lie or a truth. They just swim in the waters. At that point, a different spirit has taken over because they're not in human form. They're not using a human brain. And I don't care how much education they have. At that point, they are in predatory mode, okay? So Source is saying, and then whoever's on land, they just sitting there lying and waiting. Lying and waiting. So you got one on land, meaning in the physical sense, and you got something in the water. And they're being very creative, going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Because for them, they like, we are going to get somebody. Even at 5 of Pentacles, they still haven't gotten to Ace of Pentacles, meaning they have not gotten to the root of something. They don't care about getting to the root of something. Remember, Leos rule 5th house, right? So somebody could have used a Leo to make somebody feel worthless. Aries rules 1st house. Somebody is not trying to get to... They're going with a first impression being a lasting impression. So whoever gave them a first impression of something, that's what they're stuck with. And they riding it out till the wheels fall off. But so somebody, they ain't going to hit nothing. They're going to see it from a higher point. When them pockets hit, though, that's when they're going to see it. When they dead broke. For real. That's when they're going to see it. And that's the message that you're sending. Since they want to send a message, you're not being petty or tit for tat. This is something because whoever this energy is, they want to pray about something. They wanted to pray on. Like a teenager. Yeah. They've caused you one too many nights. You caused you and somebody some nightmares. And so now that people are starting to talk about it, and people are starting to realize a lot of people got the same thing in common with these two. They do stuff to death. Literally, like, okay, just like they just, like I said, they wired that way. Toxic. Yeah, when I say the death card, came out twice. See this person right here, crown off. They driving people to drink, causing people to be, widows, orphans. This right here, just causing all kinds of nightmares. And so whoever this energy is right here, I speak very highly of all zodiac signs, and what you're dealing with are 2 to 3 toxic. I'm telling y'all, this is divine. This is not divine feminine energy. This is toxic feminine energy, right? To the fullest. To the end of. You can't really tell how long a person is going to be the way that they're going to be. But this is an energy, like I said, you got to pray for this energy, but you have got to end being connected to it because you don't know what sets this kind of energy off. You really don't know what kind of sets this kind of energy off. They'll go away quietly and you think everything is fine and they plotting and planning. You just like, oh my gosh, you think, yeah, because another spirit has taken over. So another thing is, playing the victim to gain sympathy or avoiding responsibility, right? And then also withholding affection, attention, or approval. So, like I said, somebody had a wild night with some energies, maybe they had a threesome or whatever. Maybe 5 people in the room having a great old time. But somebody did something with some cameras. And I know that because this right here, this is reflective, right? They use against somebody to try to make somebody feel worthless, but that was part of the plan to get from the beginning. This energy found some kind of way to try to bring a temper out of you, right? But you have something in common. You know people in common with this energy right here. This energy doesn't do anything unless, whoever this energy is, unless their pockets are hit, unless money is involved, and they feel like their money is at stake. All of a sudden, they're humbled. So the only way that this energy is going to stop, because what they fear most is poverty. That's what they fear most is poverty. Everything about them, their money defines them. And somehow you found that out. They went way too far with something. They took something too far when they started involving people's kids. And you found out. You about to bring it on home. I don't know who you are, but you about to bring it on home. 3 of Wands. You taking a leap of faith. They have lost their mind. So you're taking a leap of faith and having a conversation with somebody because they did something with somebody's child. And a child could be 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. Who knows? Everybody has an inner child. But they did something, you know, to humiliate somebody. And they thought something was fun or funny. And you're showing a great deal of compassion. So you're filling up your cup of compassion and overflowing with compassion. And something, like I said, and that's putting out your anxiety for a conversation that you're about to have. But because something was done behind someone's back, right? To end someone behind someone's back. And now you're showing a great deal of compassion. First, people were talking about people behind their back to end 2 people. But now, like to do a swap, we can end these 2 people. And we're in. We're in. If we end these 2, we're in. Like, put them to death. End these 2. Y'all took it in however you want to. End this cycle. And we're in. Right? But you're showing now like you're a very responsible person. You're not walking around with the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're just very responsible. So you're like, okay, well, you got your hands full, but you're like, oh no. You say your hands ain't that full. Only thing these 2 right here recognize is no money. That's the only thing they recognize. So that's what you're going for. They don't hear nothing else. That's how cold they are. That's how cold they are. Something about whoever you are is going to make them wish they had walked away sooner. They sit back laughing now. They, yeah, whatever. Everybody, other people have tried. Watch. They think they're so connected to a religious community. But wait until people find out what they've been into. See this, and this another thing too. Whoever this is, sanctity. Look, through offering, even the most mundane problem can become a sacrament. Somebody thinks their money, they're connected to religion, and they're connected to something. They're connected to when something about something that they did right here. Their temper, they got so mad at you. They thought you were lying about something, but you weren't lying about something. They're so mad at you, they did something to a child or kids, whatever they did. So it's just saying to you, they about to go broke. They're about to go broke. Child, I was going to say something in this reading. I'm going to just go ahead and leave it out. Louder now, so some of y'all may have had to turn the sound up, and then you may be like, oh, now it's too loud. So my apologies for that. But yeah, whoever these 2 energies are, they love ending people if they can't force people into a rebirth. And that's not this. They can't force people to transform into something what they want them to be, especially if they believe somebody is lying about something. They're not trying to get to the bottom or the root of anything. No compassion. Here's the Ace of Wands here. So yeah, this fire right here is going to be to all that they put together. It's going to burn down all of this. It's already gone. It's already gone. Because that's how they were able to build something or money. They just buy people. Whoever this energy, they just buy people. But how you gonna buy people? It's like somebody just can't stand on their own personality. They gotta buy people. They gotta buy this. They gotta buy that. Buy familiar spirits. I want you to live here. I'm gonna pay for your rent. I'm gonna pay for this. I'm gonna pay for that. But they preyed on the wrong one, the wrong 2 at this point, because somebody thought that you didn't have a backbone. Whoever you are, they thought that you would just go along with a program. 5 of Swords. But this is what you have in common with somebody. People trying to play mind games with you and calling you a bully and saying that, you know, you'll do anything to win at all costs. No. Nope. But this is what you have in common with somebody. You've had to deal with the abuse, the violence, the relationships, dealing with the people who are just sneaky. This energy right here is sneaky. They are sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. And they've been able to reinvent themselves here, there, everywhere, buy people, do this, that, and the other. If you want to be a part of this, you got to do that. So they're everywhere. They got connections everywhere. If you want to be a part of such and such, you got to do this. Basically, like if this is your part of your initiation. If you want to be a part of something, you got to do this for us. But they came against the right two ones this time. Because somehow people are switching teams. Here we have toss it into a burning ball. You don't have no more fear at this point. Heart chakra cleanse. You made the connection and now you off to the races. Here we have, you have the gift of premonition. This is forewarning. So you already know something in advance. You're closing a cycle. You're closing it out. Yeah, adjust your crown. Yep. So Source had to bring you in to close something out. So new love awaits for you. Yeah. I don't know if people don't realize it. Somebody called you a snake. Really, Source is saying to you, you're not a snakes have it. Oh my goodness. Let me slow down for a second. First of all, the spirit of the devil was put in the snake by Source, right? But that spirit is a spirit. It's too many different spirits. Spirits of depression, spirit of gluttony, spirit of, incubus spirit, succubus spirit, whatever kind of spirit. But you can also have the spirit of joy and peace and happiness and love, and it's a choice, it's free will, right? So now that you made a connection, and now that you started realizing how this energy was all everywhere, like this, it's a spirit, it's literally everywhere. It's like, how do people know these people? Like, how are people connecting? How did now that you made the connection, somebody was greasing people's palms through money. They were paying people to do stuff. Somebody's now looking at things a lot differently now. These people were paying people's rent to go set up and bully people, get people to move. Sounds outlandish. Paying people's rent, getting stuff started, trying to get people into arguments with people. Take your time to decide. Reaching out to people's rental office, reaching out, talking to landlords and supers, paying people. I need you to watch this person, spreading rumors. They spend more money on, whoever these energies are, spend more money on trying to ruin people because they don't want to go through, they don't want to copy their toxic feminine traits, their predatory traits, than them just doing the work themselves. So you're praying and meditating. Yeah, you're praying and meditating. So something, Source has you closing it out, though. Whoever you are, I don't know who you are, but you're closing something out because somebody's amongst incubi and succubi. All somebody had to do was find out somebody's demons. So somebody, at first, it's like with you, somebody may have thought that you were like highly sexual, right? And there's nothing wrong with sex. There's nothing wrong with money, but somebody was basically like, oh yeah, Sagittarius will go along with such and such because somebody felt like they had some kind of dirt on you. But okay, and so what? Right? So what? But that's how this energy does. We got something on them, so we'll make them do. This is again forcing you into some kind of a rebirth. Even if you don't want to do something, this energy felt like they got something on you, so they're going to force you to be something that you are not, right? Heartless and cold and cruel. But you said, oh nah, heck nah. Ask Source for clarity. Everybody can't be bought. The angel Gabriel, the messenger of God, messenger from angels. See, whoever you're dealing with, whether they're younger or older, it doesn't matter. The way that some of these energies work. So let me give somebody an example if we're talking about sex here. Okay, so that could, I know that the video may be flagged or whatever. I could say this on Patreon side, but that's not necessarily on YouTube side, right? Because I did market over 18 years old. Okay, the way these energies work, because I'm looking at amongst incubi and succubi, and on my second channel, the knowledge channel, I have a breakdown of incubi and succubi spirits. So let's say, for instance, you have a loved one who they have those demons on them, right? That's not a person who just wants to be in a normal relationship where this sex happens. You know, you're with your person, right? We're not talking about people who are overly religious, no sex until you get married and all that other stuff and whatever. We're talking about somebody who doesn't know the power of these spirits, right? I keep trying to tell people, stop playing with these spirits, right? Some of these people, you know, like I said, they so toxic, they don't want to do the work, right? So it seems fun at first, and then after a while you realize this energy is really, really toxic. You can't concentrate on anything else. That's what I'm saying, like manipulation and control, using guilt, silent treatment, passive aggressive tactics to influence others. Well, if you really love me, you would do such and such. Another one is playing the victim to gain sympathy to avoid responsibility. So they're not going to give you an apology, and this could be a man or woman. They're not going to give you an apology, but they're a victim. Well, you did such and such to me. That's just a justification. But what about, okay, taking some accountability for something? The third one would be like withholding affection, attention, or approval as means of punishment. You're in a relationship, so y'all been having a really healthy sex life. All of a sudden, they don't want to sleep with you at all. So where they getting it from? If you know them to be a person that enjoys sex, now all of a sudden they don't. And so, well, who else you getting it from? Right? Another one would be inauthenticity, right? So pretending to be weaker, helpless, or less capable to get others to do things, right? So now you done stepped out. So they don't want you to do something. So now they got the next door neighbor doing something that you could do. Playing those stupid games, right? Toxic, just straight up toxic, right? Another one is overemphasis on appearance or validation seeking to control social dynamics. Okay, now all of a sudden, I'm going to get some attention. If I'm not getting enough attention from you, I'm going to get it from somewhere else. I don't care if it causes all kinds of chaos and confusion in the relationship. I'm going to go get me some attention from whoever. Two can play that game. You're not even playing a game. You ain't even have time to even process your emotions. Toxic. So another one is masking true feelings with fake niceness while harboring resentment. You introducing them to people, they rolling their eyes at people but smiling in your face. And the person is telling, somebody else is telling you, oh, this person don't even really, they mean to me. Like they mean to me, they mean to my kids, they treat people. And they just, you know, y'all getting it. Y'all are getting it. There's a whole list of them, whole list of traits. Things are starting to flow to you like water. The spy is now turned on. Nobody had time for that toxic mess. See, people hear about toxic masculinity so much that people forget that there's also toxic femininity. That's another part of it. Somebody's like, what? What did I do wrong? Oh, what? Child, you over here playing all kinds of games. Nobody want to deal with that mess. So source is saying to you, things are starting to flow to you like water. Very different than a person that's enforcing boundaries. Very different. A person says, hey, I don't feel safe in that circle or around certain people, so please don't invite me. That's a person who knows their worth and their value. Hey, maybe you and I can get together, but I don't feel safe around certain people. I'm just telling you that right now. Or if they feel like you and they can't control who you go back and tell certain things to, but if they feel like if they can't open up to you without you taking it back, and they don't feel comfortable with saying, hey, I really didn't want that information out there, and you're telling people certain information, and because they scared you're gonna come back like a firecracker, right? They may say, okay, well, you know what? This is where we can go ahead and close out this cycle in love. I don't have any issues with you, but I'm not trying to control what you can say, what you can't say. This energy right here was trying to put an end to two energies because they wanted to force somebody into a rebirth. And the physical, like basically put them in survival mode, like make them some kind of a battle cat. Y'all, when we talk about lion energy, fight to the death, right? Physical fighting people, or make them so emotionally manipulative that nobody trusts them. Oh, they just a crybaby. They cry. That's how they manipulate people. If what the heck you got tear ducts for if you can't cry? Yeah, somebody's bitter ex-lover wants them. Somebody, you can't have compassion towards somebody who's showing some emotion. Then you know what? Goodbye. For real, goodbye. See, the problem is when you're dealing with energies like this, people who are emotionally intelligent are time enough for emotional manipulators. They time enough for them, for real. See, this right here is the third part to it, right? So, yeah, what I was saying in your cards here is you're dealing with emotional. Somebody has so much education on how to manipulate people, like bring a death to them. Like they would rather flip over bowls to see what ends a person. Okay, what ends something? Oh, if you talk about somebody's mom or dad, okay, that won't end them, right? Because maybe they know how to play the dozens real well. Maybe, or they can joan real good, or they can, whatever people call teasing, whatever, geographically people have like slang names to whatever they can tease somebody, right? Oh, you talk about their parents. Oh, that doesn't bother them. Okay. They come right back with something. Okay. They flip over another bowl. You call them crazy. Okay. That doesn't move a needle for them because they're going to come back and call you crazy. You talk about their sex life. That doesn't faze them either. That doesn't bother them either. But you talk about death. Ooh, okay. That's where they start emptying out. That's where they start crying. Oh, we hit it. Ding, 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 ding. They show no compassion whatsoever. And so that's where somebody felt like they were coming in when it came to one of these energies, right? Because they feel like, okay, oh, we got full knowledge on that. That's why they're looking down. They find anything where they can look down on energies. 1 and 3 is 4. So 4 is a significant thing. So you could have 4 members of a family that all have felt a reason to look down on people, right? So when we talk about your earth, somebody in the family could have a lot of money, right? So we got to justify, we can look down on people because we can look down on people who don't make as much money as we do, okay? When it comes to the sacral chakras, this is root, right? Root chakra. Sacral chakra, right? Your emotions, they can attack your joy or whatever, or your creativity. Oh, we got people in our family that's much more creative. We got better singers, better musicians, we got somebody that's emotionally better. We got somebody who's whatever, better. It's all for them. It's always a comparison. Anything they can do to bring up to justify leaving somebody out in the cold, right? The third one would be solar plexus, right? Basic need for that is significance, right? So if they don't feel significant in a particular area, we can bully them, right? We can make them feel worse than they already feel about a certain area. So in this case right here, when you're talking about starting out with death, rebirth, which is Scorpio, we're not necessarily talking about, we ain't